Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Anime-Zing Radio here on YouTube. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Good evening.
Tonight, we're just going to talk about some random stuff that's been going on in the world of anime. I know, Darren, you have shared a couple of links about some shows that are coming, or shows and other things that are coming out, including a new isekai that makes us all wonder what in the hell is wrong with people.
Or does Japan actually have any good ideas left? And the answer to that is maybe.
And the show that you, or is this
The
a
series.
manga?
It's going to be it's either a light novel or a manga. I think it's a light novel.
And it is called Reincarnated as an Apple. What in the hell, people? Why? Why is there an anime about being reincarnated as an apple?
Because we did a vending machine, so why not?
It's just kind of silly in my mind, but so be it.
I mean, other innate objects, well, one particularly you're enjoying is reincarnated as a sword, even if it's not following the main character himself.
Well, the main character is still there, but the side character is absolutely adorable, and I like the storyline. In fact, after the show tonight, we're gonna be I'm probably gonna catch up on that because the latest episode drops on Wednesday, so I've got that to watch tonight.
And speaking of dropping on Wednesdays, did you ever start Eminence in Shadow?
I have not.
Like I said, you got me to watch Beast Tamer this season. I think you need to watch that just because it seems like the type of isekai you would enjoy.
Eminence and Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Who has that?
I will be right back. My boss is calling for some reason.
So if we can find that. So does not look like Eminence and Shadow is Crunchyroll, so maybe High Dive? Oh yes. It is High Dive. It's right. Flipped over to the High Dive page and there it is. So Darren will be back in just a bit. But we're nearing the end of 2022. Things have been crazy. Be sure to tune in Sunday when we do a year in review, kind of a 2-hour look back at what 2022 brought for AZR, for all of us. It has been an absolutely crazy, crazy year. Never thought that I would do a lot of the stuff that we're able to do this year. So really, thank you to everybody who's tuned in, everybody who supported the show, everybody who has helped out the show in some capacity, to all the conventions that's allowed us to be press or table or work with. We're excited about where 2023 is going to be coming. So, but going back to, gotta find the right tab here. Going back to what we were talking about a little earlier, a new manga that's coming out called Reincarnated as an Apple. I don't see a lot of information about this right now. I'm kind of trying to scroll through to see if there is more information, and I'm not seeing any. So I may have to look into that later. Also, another article that Darren had shared with me was the Call of the Night author Kotoyama is impressed with the Nazuna Nakana or Nanakusa 1/7 scale figure, which the link was sent to me. Darren sent me the link through through Anime Corner, and the figure itself actually is really, really good. I kind of want the figure because it looks awesome. But the merchandise, it says in the article, the merchandise is available at the price of 22,000 yen, or about $164. And then there's a gorgeous limited edition available for the price of 29,700 yen, or about $218 US, and it has an A5 sized Chara fine graph art of the original illustration. So
That's about to say, pull it up on the computer, show everybody.
yeah, let me switch the tab over to a new window, and then I can pull this up here. Welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, boss lady. Just getting out of a meeting that started at 3:30 this afternoon.
Jesus.
Yeah, and she's been at work since about 7 o'clock this morning.
So this is what the figure looks like. That is very impressive. I will say that much. I am impressed with some of the details on this. It looks like it is really, really well done. For $200, it better be. I'll say that much. And then they have a close up here where the features of the face, you can see the fangs on the teeth and everything. The weird look in the eyes. It's hard to see, but I think they even gave her the pointy fingernails that she's got as well.
People can say what they want, but Nazuna was adorable.
I love Nazuna. Nazuna was a great character, and finally, and it's going to be weird to say this about, especially in the anime trope world that we live in, where the bigger the oppai, the better in many cases for anime that we've seen. But they actually made Nazuna look more realistic than most other anime characters.
To be fair, one of my favorite girls of all time shares similar traits with Nazuna in that regard, and that would be Lazara from So I Can't Play H. She's my flat-chested Rias ripoff favorite.
And hello, Ross. Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're doing a fun little special here, just about an hour to chat. Also want to take a moment to wish our co-host Angela a very happy birthday today. She is in the middle of her monthly Wednesday night D&D group, which is why she wasn't able to join us. But I know she's got a lot she wants to talk about this weekend when we do our 2022 year in review. She's also going to be doing a little review of PAX Unplugged, where she was at last weekend. Also, a big thank you to Kira Meku Melody, who joined us last weekend. It was a lot of fun to talk with the young ladies of that group. Sadly, I wasn't able to see them perform in person at Anime because of being at the table all weekend. But from the videos I saw, it looks like they have a lot of fun and some really good choreography. And it's kind of neat to get some other idol groups on the show, especially with idol animes still being in your face in the anime world. And I know, Darren, you're not the biggest idol anime watcher.
No, the closest I've personally come was Zombieland Saga, and other musical-based animes. Never really. No, Zombieland Saga was about the only one, and I never did watch season 2. I'm kind of ashamed of myself.
Don't feel bad. I haven't seen season 2 either.
There were several sequels I was looking forward to that I just, for whatever reason, did not get around to.
I mean, with your busy work schedule, and I mean, we're at the time of the year where you'll have a little bit more free time because you have less daylight. But
and also rainy days like this.
Yeah. It's even raining up here. It's weird. We're in December in northern New York. And when I say northern New York, we are not far from the Canadian border. And it was in the 50s today.
Wow, that's actually fairly warm for y'all. I think we were in the 60s.
Now, here's a question for you. You had gone and seen the Trash Taste Tour.
Correct.
Did you see the video that they put up this week talking about their tour?
No, I did not.
They actually did a whole Trash Taste episode, 2 hours, kind of telling stories and reviewing the tour.
Hmm.
I will say this: I watched the entire episode. They had some really funny stuff they talked about, but not once did they bring up Boston or their Carolinas trip stops.
I am very disappointed in them.
I am too. They went through like their top 3 favorite stops. They went through some of the worst stops that they made.
Let me guess. They weren't. California was somewhere on that list.
Actually, the one thing that they said, which I thought was really funny, and they if you don't know, Trash Taste Podcast is 3 anime YouTubers or anime and video game YouTubers who got together to create this podcast. All of them are pretty well known in the anime YouTuber world. You have Gigic, you have Joey the Anime Man, and you have Sea Dog VA. And they did a tour of the U.S. They went to 23 states. Now, when you went to see them live, they said that they were taking polls everywhere of what's the worst state in the country.
Mm-hmm. And
What did you got?
for whatever reason, Ohio got a lot of crap.
Would you believe if I told you that Ohio was number 1 in 21 of the 23 stops?
I'm very surprised California wasn't number 1 in those stops.
Even Ohio said Ohio was terrible. Even Ohio voted Ohio as the worst. I'm like, that's kind of surprising. And I'm sure that you've watched enough of their stuff to know about the Great Chicken Debate, right?
About all chicken tastes the same.
Chicken wings versus bone in versus bone out chicken wings.
I think so.
They had part 2.
Oh my. And if they were talking about chicken, I am very surprised they didn't bring up the Carolinas, considering we had Bojangles and Popeyes and Chick-fil-A come up during our tour with them. And then later on they actually had to debate the all chicken tasted the same or not. And I'm just like, okay, as much chicken as the Carolinas is famous for, how, if you're doing a review video, why would that not get brought up? And why?
Well, you also got to remember they went through 23 cities for shows. They end up, I think, stopping in like 41 different towns, with long drives between days off and things of that nature. But Connor had one of the funniest stories I've heard in a long time. He said he enjoyed his time in Denver, Colorado, for the most part, except for what happened at the hotel. And anybody who's watched any videos of Connor, especially with Sea Dog VA and abroad in Japan, anytime they go to a hotel, Connor has to take a tub, as he puts it. So take a bath. So he decides to start a bath in the hotel. He's got a couple hours to kill. And while waiting for the water to fill, he figures, I've got time to play a quick game of League of Legends. On this tour, he was trying to work his way up to diamond level by the end of it. He was 1 win away from diamond level. So he's playing and getting real wrapped up in the game. And he's like, dude, I'm in the top 5. If I just need to beat one more person and I reach diamond level, and he's sitting there playing and playing and playing, and next thing he knows, he wins, and he starts celebrating, and then he hears a knock on the door, which startles him, and he goes, puts his foot down on the floor, and it sinks in to like mossy, wet, squishy sound. And he goes, and it wasn't just a little bit of water. He goes, it went up over the top of my foot. Which then I realized, oh no. And I quickly ran and shut the water off. And I tried to pull the plug out of this tub, and the tub had drains that are supposed to prevent this from happening, but apparently they weren't working properly. While trying to get the plug out, he realized that it would not come out easily. He had to use something to pry it up. So once he got that open, and he goes, when I realized that the water was coming out, I looked up and there was a little hallway that kind of went around a corner to go to the area that he was at, and he could see the stream of water coming around. So he's trying to clean stuff up as quick as he can. They're still knocking at the door. And so he opens the door, and there's staff there checking, oh my God, is everything all right? What happened? What happened? He goes, and as I look, and I open the door and look out at this person standing there, I can see the water going out my door and down the hallway into the room next to me. And he's like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry." He goes, we've been touring and on the road for so long, and things have been absolutely crazy. I started a tub and accidentally fell asleep. I am so sorry. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine. Stuff happens. We've dealt with things like this before." He said the staff was absolutely amazing. He's like, "Just go down to the front desk, tell them that you needed to switch rooms." And we'll take care of everything else. So he goes down to the front desk and tells him, yeah, I'm the guy who flooded his room because I started a tub and then accidentally fell asleep. And they're like, oh, not a problem. He goes, you don't find it weird? They're like, nah, yesterday somebody clogged a toilet and there was shit everywhere. he goes, he goes, I don't want to know what has happened at this hotel where a overflowed bathtub is like no big deal to them. He goes, I later found out that I flooded 3 rooms: my room, the room beside me, and the room below me. But the story kept getting more and more blown out of proportion to, oh, he flooded 6 rooms, he flooded 4 floors of the hotel, and that. He goes, no, it was only 3 rooms, just to get the facts straight. But he's telling the story, and I'm watching this while I'm on lunch at work, and I'm in my car almost crying, laughing at this point because it's absolutely hysterical. And we've seen enough videos of Connor to know the panic face that he gets, and I can almost visualize every single thing that he's saying. And welcome to Colorado.
Oh Lord, Well, given that it's Colorado, and given that they were one of the first states to do a couple of things, I guarantee you they have seen some stuff.
Yeah. But it was definitely a very funny story to hear, and if you want to clip it and send it to Connor that we were kind of poking fun about this story. We are big fans of the Trash Taste. Connor, if you catch wind of this and you want to come on to defend yourself, you are more than welcome to come on the show anytime. We would absolutely love to have you on the show to talk about your channel, YouTubing, the tour, whatever. I am a fan of yours. I don't tell the story in disrespect. I tell the story because it was funny as hell.
Well, the fact that he was actually able to admit the story meant that he wanted it to be a story associated with him in the first place.
Exactly. Plus the fact of, all the rooms were in their tour manager's name. And so he gets a call from the tour manager. It's like, oh my God, are you all right? I heard, I got a call from the hotel saying that one of our talents, flooded their bathtub because they fell asleep. So he's like, I thought it was, I think she thought I fell asleep in the tub. So he goes, but I had to come clean and tell her no, I didn't fall asleep. I just didn't want to sound like a jag and tell him I flooded the bathroom because I was playing League. Hello, HH. 54 in mass. Uncharacteristic. Yes, for December, that is very uncharacteristic. I could understand 57 in Arkansas more than the 50s in basically 40 minutes from the Canadian border in New York and 50s in mass.
I see you have a visitor join you in eyesight.
Oh, hello there. Where my head was, I was like, what? And if I move here, it's like, oh, there he is. Hi, Mr. Hines. You're just chilling? He's just chilling. He's just going to stare me down.
Pretty much.
He's either staring at me or doing what you're doing and staring at Kurumi.
Probably Kermie. I mean, don't forget, Kermie loves cats.
Don't we all?
I like bunnies.
I like dragons.
Well,
hence the reason you call me Donkey.
Donkey.
But I mean, being honest though, there are a lot of fun dragon characters.
Agreed. About to say, probably the funniest one is Issei.
Yeah?
I mean, hell, he's the Opie dragon.
And I mean, if we just pull up a page, this is just all I typed in was anime dragon girls. How many of them can you name, Darren? Or how many shows can you name?
The first one, I want to say, I should know this one. The very first one, I feel like I should know. Okay, Dragon Maid's right there.
Yep, you have
Of
a
course.
bunch of Dragon Maid.
Yes, a lot of Dragon Maid. I see Killing Slimes for 300 years.
Right down here.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Do you know this one?
Yes, I do, even though the name of it's literally right below it.
Well, it's Monster Girl Doctor, but you remember the name of the character.
No, I don't.
That was Lady Scotty.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't remember the one here that says Best Dragon Anime Girls. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but I love the show she's from.
I'd say scroll down a little. Let's see what else we got. I feel like I should know the one with the purple hair.
This one here?
Yes, I feel like I should know that show for some reason. Oh, now here, the one next to Lucula. Do you know that one?
Here?
Yes.
Oh, I have seen that show. I can't think of the name of it, but I have seen that.
Dragonar Academy.
That's right. I have seen that one.
Let's see, there's Spirited Away.
Yep. They don't have the dragon from Beast Tamer up here yet. I haven't seen her.
I don't have them either. Let's see. I don't see Malim yet either.
Yeah?
But I guess she's classified as Dragonoid.
Oh, true, because Dragonoid is also the one I was referring to.
Why is Majin Buu up there?
Who knows? We scroll back up. Some of these look like they were taken 10 best anime dragon girls in 2022.
Like I said, I should know that show for some reason.
Let's see who they have here.
Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Hmm. Of course. Oh,
There's
there's
Malim.
Millie.
She got 11.
Huh.
So 10 dragon girls beat out Malim. Princess Luna.
Maju Luna.
I don't
Okay.
know that one.
I don't either.
Mink, dragon half.
Hmm. 90s anime.
There we go. Kuru. That was her name. Restaurant to Another World. That was a fun, wholesome anime that ended up having a storyline and caught me off guard. And sorry that I missed some of the comments. When I have the other window open, I only have one screen, so I can't flip between both. I have to change tabs completely. So I do apologize for missing out on some of the comments. But Restaurant to Another World, that was actually really, really good show.
Uh,
Uh,
I've seen Fafnir Unlimited.
and then you have Fafnir and Dragon Maid.
I reserve tier deserves to be on this list.
Echo, Dragonar Academy.
Yep. Leica.
Lycia.
Yep.
The funny thing is you had two dragons in that, and they both were adorable. But Leica gets all the love while the other one gets crapped on quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit. Rose from
Dragon.
Dragon Crisis.
Never heard of that one. Okay.
Greya? So the purple haired one that you said you should know?
Yeah, I feel like I should know because I've seen it and her depicted in quite a bit.
Zephyrus,
Crap.
Scrap Princess.
Huh. Don't know that one either.
And number one,
Toru.
Toru.
Of course, they picked her enraged.
They have a lot of little things in here.
Huh.
Best angry anime girls, shy anime girls, ninja, emo.
Ain't that something? Well, every site's got to have their own top whatever list just to try and make the rankings or get notability.
And Ross says, going through the list there, Ross says Fafnir Unlimited sucked.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either.
And Ross, Malim technically is a dragon.
She is a dragonoid because her parents were the was a dragon because technically the her father was a dragon and that dragon created the universe they live in, even though her father is no longer the most powerful being in existence, yada yada yada. He put the system in place and now the system rules the world. It's weird.
It is. But Malim is still best girl. I will say that much. Malim is still best girl. Oh, don't go telling me that. It's another figure I'm going to need to get, Darren. Make them stop. Malim has a wedding figure coming out soon. Have you heard about this?
Nope.
I was gonna say I'm surprised because if you had seen it, you would have been like, "Here, check this out."
Yep. Did not know about that one.
So here's a fun question for you, Darren. Knowing that we are we are the anime trash. You and I enjoy having the waifu lists and things of that nature. What what why do you think that we get drawn to certain characters over others? Like you and I were talking about cat girls, bunny girl. You like the bunny girls and stuff. What is it about the bunny girls that kind of draws you to them?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, their appearances and sizes do have something to do with it, but it's to be honest, it's their personalities more than anything, and that goes for any characters. Because if you really look at a lot of my favorites, they really more tend to be on the demon side. They're either in the demon category or they're actually real humans.
And I tend to be all over the place. And one thing that we're going to touch on more on Sunday, but I wanted to bring up a little bit because I really went earlier this year. Think back to the first season that came out in 2022, and there was a show that was all the rage that now you don't hear anything about. And everybody fell in love with this one particular character. And I went so far to say as she could be best girl of the year. Do you remember who the show and
Of,
who I'm talking about?
of course.
Now the que
How could anyone beat her out? And to be honest with you, among all the girls this year, I can officially say from all the shows I've seen, no one has beat her. There have been a couple that have come close, but no one has beat her.
and I now it'll be interesting when they have the Crunchyroll Awards that come up. And yes, Ross, you are correct. Dress Up Darling and Marin. And I know before Marin, everybody was about Chizuru and Rent a Girlfriend. And, Yor is definitely in the conversation of, best girl. Yor is a waifu who's actually a waifu.
On that note, have you seen the most recent episode of Spy Family?
I have not. I'm a little behind because we've been watching it in English, and the English episode did not drop last week.
Okay, so you may know the someone that's kind of making her way onto the scene, but she may have appeared already, but she has bigger parts in the most recent episodes.
I think I know who you're talking about. We don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think I know who you're talking about, and she definitely has a lot of interaction with Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
And the show is still so good. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to about next year. And like, I am stoked that Pucci-Con had already announced that they're gonna have Megan Shipman as a guest. The problem is, I don't know how much money I'm gonna have for autographs because I want to get like there's gonna be like four characters I want her to sign, including Anya. Is that bad?
No, that just proves she's doing a good job, or she just keeps getting a good role.
And I need her to sign this as well because she actually sings in the original Show by Rock series, and then she was a director for Masha My Resh. Which that reminds me, I need to reach out to our friend Gavin and see if he's got any new art books in yet for Masha Myresh. I also wonder if there's going to be more Show by Rock stuff coming down. And Ross is saying in the chat room, now if I had to choose best waifu of the year, gonna have to go with Kotone from RPG Real Estate. My type of personality, and she looks amazing. I need to look her up. I watched it. The problem is I don't remember. So I need to. That was.
Excuse me.
Which one was? Oh, okay. She was the pink-haired girl. All right. That's who I thought it was, and we'll pull up. This was the character here that Ross was referring to.
Sorry, but people with big witches hats give me the wrong vibe after watching Demon Lord retry.
Then you love that picture. She's
Oh
got the
yeah.
staff and everything.
There's another one. There's another one from either a show that released recently or is about to release that looks dead similar to the one I'm referring to.
Yeah. If we go Demon Lord retry Trap, that's the one that Darren's referring to.
Yes. Such a wonderful, wonderful witch.
That was Darren's favorite character. Right up there with Felix.
If we're talking trap department, probably my favorite one would have been from Origaru. Why can't I remember his name off the top of my head? Yeah.
Yes, Ross, that was a guy. That would be a fun one for a Smash or Trash if we had somebody on who didn't know.
That would be quite a few people, I think, because Demon Lord Retry wasn't exactly one that
Was
a
very popular.
whole bunch of people watched.
And there's a lot of them out there like that. It's interesting. And Angela brought it up a little bit last week, talking about how different parts of the world are huge in different kinds of animes. That like what's popular in Japan may bomb in the U.S., but stuff that Japan doesn't like, the U.S. may absolutely love, or Europe might love, or other parts of the world might enjoy. And it's neat to see, how much stuff is out there. And Ross says, Darren
Yeah,
Tatsu.
Saika Totsuka. I remembered.
That's the wonderful thing about our viewers out here and our listeners. We have some of the greatest fans and really knowledgeable fans. And I love the fact you guys, when we get stumped, you're right there to help us out. It really means a lot to us. So
Well, we have to say we've all seen enough anime, and we all have shows we can remember from, but some more than others.
and we all have those shows that we wish were very forgettable.
Pretty much.
And but yeah, I think I'm gonna stand by my guns and still say, of all the anime I have watched for 2022, Marin is still best girl. May not be number one waifu, but I will say she is best girl.
About to say Shikimori was definitely, well, she wasn't as big of a contender as Marin was, but she was still enjoyable also.
And as much as I hate to say this, looking at season 2 of Uzaki-chan, Uzaki's gotten more adorable and more tolerable. And
Thank
I
you. Thank you. I'm glad you finally admit it.
and I think it's because the fact they bring her family into it, and you understand where she gets her quirkiness from. And when you see her family laying into her, and she gets that kind of shy, very like, shut up, leave me alone, snap back to try to conceal her real feelings, it kind of shows a different side of her, where it's like she isn't always the snarky, annoying little bitch. that you get that feeling of, and I think that's why a lot of people did not like her in season one, is because of what they saw and her just being annoying. And that's what the character was supposed to be. The fact that season two, you get a better understanding of why she's annoying. And I think that made her more relatable and more enjoyable.
Her little sister is way too much for her age. I'm sorry. In all aspects.
Yeah. And the brother is just like, what?
Her brother's just like non-existent, just about. And the dad, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for him to figure out everything.
Her dad reminds me of a character that you would see in How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. Like I could see him being in the gym with Machio.
Yes, I could too.
Oh my god, could that be the next like crossover? You had Isekai Quartet, now they're just gonna cross over freaking dumbbells with Uzaki-chan. And Ross is asking, how about a Heron-san?
That was one I meant to watch and forgot about. So Aherin is indecipherable. Basically, very quiet girl, very cute series. Um, I just never watched it. So, very good point, Ross.
And like I stated before, I am going based off of the animes I have watched. Obviously, there's so many shows out there, we can't watch every single one and know every single character. It's almost impossible to go and watch everything, especially when you work multiple jobs and things of that nature. That being said, of the shows that I have seen, there have been plenty of adorable characters, but I don't think there's any female characters that have come out this year that has struck a chord as much as Marin did when she first came out. Because you didn't just have a cute girl, you had a cute girl that had a good personality, a good head on her shoulders, was compassionate,
Was
you know,
relatable.
was relatable, and made just about any guy and some women be like, man, she seems like the perfect girl.
She really was, especially the fact that she loved the kind of games and anime and stuff that you would, despite being a totally popular girl.
And unlike Chizuru from Rent a Girlfriend, it wasn't an act. So I think that is where Marin kind of trumps Chizuru for one of the top girls in anime for 2022, and maybe maybe in the last couple of years. It'll be interesting when the Facebook pages have their waifu wars and Marin is up there going up against the likes of people like Makoto Misaka, who I've seen win those. I've seen Holo win. I've seen Megami win. People have their favorites, but there are a lot of characters out there who people don't know about.
Speaking of which, one of my favorite animes all time, well, one of my favorite slice of life romances of all time, is coming out with a second season, and I am thrilled about it. With an adorably cute main character. Do you know which show I'm referencing, Doug?
Um,
It's one.
Tonikawa,
Yep,
which
yep.
Tonikawa was great. Another good slice of life romance anime that's getting a second season. And a lot of people I don't think would think of it as a romance anime. Um, but the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. That's getting a second season, and I am excited for that. That was a fantastic show for the first season. Also, Call of the Night needs a second season. They cannot leave it where the anime left off. I'm gonna say that right now, hands down. It needs a second season. Going back and rewatching it, I watched it all the way through in Japanese, and then going back and rewatching it in English. It's very not very often that you can enjoy something in both languages and have it seem like both like the entire cast in both shows was perfect. But they did a great job in both the Japanese voice cast and the English voice cast. So hats off to the directors and everybody who brought the cast in and found the right people for those characters. And you've seen the entire series, right?
For which one?
Call of the Night.
Of course.
And it's not a spoiler, but one of my favorite parts in the show happens in the last episode when Nazuna is at the vending machine.
And basically, he
And
turns the tables on her.
as to what happened in episode 1, and like that scene just hit different from other shows where you might have seen something similar, but when they took the last episode of that series and referenced an important turning point in the show in episode 1, it really was like, they did a great job. And I don't know why that just resonated so much with me when I watched it, but man, it like hit different.
Yep.
And I think that was one of the fun parts about that show too, is because the characters, even though the concept was a little weird about, a 14-year-old quitting school and wanting to become a vampire, is like a far-fetched story, but the characters themselves were very relatable. Even the vampires were kind of relatable. Being like, I've been a vampire for thousands of years and I'm just bored. We all can relate to just being bored at some point in time. Trying to figure out new ways of enjoying life. And like I said, the art style in that show, if you haven't seen it yet, if you're watching this and you have not seen Call of the Night, check out the first couple of episodes, and hopefully the art style will draw you in. The way that they portray the night, the colors that they use, just the feeling that you get, it almost makes you want to go out and explore the night yourself. Some areas I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm sure there's some areas out your way that you wouldn't recommend going out at 2 o'clock in the morning, but
Or getting stuck at 8 o'clock at night.
or anytime.
Pretty much. Well, we've made worldwide headlines more times than once for one particular city, so.
And for one particular state. Florida, man. All I have to do is search that and you'll get all you need.
About to say, the number of articles that start with Florida man is just like rampant.
That's become the next truck coon, Florida, man. It's gonna be the next meme in friggin' anime world. Florida, man.
I mean, why not? Oh, and Ross is speaking to you in the comments on something I think you'd agree with.
That Parallel World Pharmacy needs a second season. I totally agree. And I'm not sure when I became a pharmaceutical nerd for these animes, but
maybe the Heroes Party. Banished from the Heroes Party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside.
no, because there was the one before that. It was crap. Came out a couple seasons ago. and I'm getting a message because Casey can hear me. She's in the other room and says legit there was a Florida Man article from like half an hour ago. And it's
Oh
a
boy.
legit Fox News article where he had sex with a dog publicly, wrecked a church nativity scene, and tried to steal a car. Thank you, Ross. Drugstore in Another World. That was the other one I was thinking of because that had come out before Banished from the Heroes Party, and then it went from that to Parallel World Pharmacy, and they were all good. I don't know why I found all of them to be really good, and they were all very different. And I know, there's so many sequels that are coming out, seasons 2s, 3s, 4s. I think we're almost at the point of either people are running out of ideas, so it's like let's just continue an already popular show or a show that was kind of popular or might have been popular somewhere in the world, or they're just coming up with things like I was reincarnated as an apple. I'm going to take on this vending machine. I heard he was reincarnated too.
Oh, I forgot that aired earlier this year and that it took over my anime list until Bleach came along.
What's that?
Kaguya-sama season 3, because that last episode was every bit what it needed to become peak anime performance.
And Ross says the vending machine is going to be coming out. Yeah, I think we're almost at the point where they could make another isekai quartet with just reincarnated, instead of isekai quartet, it could be reincarnated quartet. You could have Rimuru and the sword, and the vending machine and the apple. So you have a slime, a sword, a vending machine, and an apple. Could you imagine? Good God.
Hmm. And yet the slime is literally the most OP thing. I love seeing the people do a versus with him versus Ainz, because quite literally it would be interesting to see who would win in that one. Especially reading the web novel, light novel spoilers for Rimuru about just how powerful he becomes.
And Ross is asking what apple. There is a manga / light novel. You said you weren't sure exactly what
I
media
think
it was
I
going
think
to
it's
take.
I think it's a light novel because everything weird starts as a light novel. You can
It's
pull
called.
it up. You can pull it up if you want
I
and
need. I
show
need to.
him what I'm talking about.
I need to find the that link again. Or
It's in our chat. It was on Facebook.
oh, here. I just typed in reincarnated as an apple, and it came right up. So let's pull this up here. So reincarnated as an apple.
The forbidden fruit is forever unblemished.
So this could be an anime, a future anime coming
Because why the hell not?
to a degenerate near you. Apparently, you can get this at Barnes and Noble.
You're kidding, right?
Barnes and Noble books.
It's been translated already.
Yeah, ebook $7.99.
Wow.
Overview. My name is Daisuke Furutsu, and I died getting hit by a truck full of apples. Yes, I know it's a cliche setup. Apparently, somebody upstairs fell asleep on the job. Anyway, as an apology, God lets me draw 5 cards of fate that are supposed to grant me superpowers in my next life. My first 4 draws are amazing, stuff like magic and infinite inventory, but everything changes with the 5th card. A curse that turns me into whatever killed me. I was going to end up a truck, but now I'm an apple.
I'm still waiting for Truck Coon to get isekai.
This is terrible because I almost kind of want to get it, but I know I don't have the money right now.
Oh my god. And Ross, we don't know why as an apple. Ross, give them time. They will find something else to do.
Well, you can't get any lower or worse than an apple. Yeah, you could. I got reincarnated as a pile of crap.
About to say, just wait for an 18 plus artist
Oh.
to do a dojin, and there ain't no telling what you'd get reincarnated into. So yes, it can get worse than that, Ross. You're just
I
not in the
don't
gutter
even
enough.
want to think about that.
You're not. Your mind's not in the gutter enough.
Oh no, my mind went into its gutter in quite a few ways. I'm just not saying anything.
Oh, neither am I.
If you really want to get in the gutter, here, enjoy the figure. She's even got the wings on the back for you, Darren, and the
Uh-huh.
little devil tail.
Oh wow.
Like I said, when I got the mystery bag that said Date Alive, I figured that I was gonna end up with a Kurumi figure. But I
Because
approve of this one.
she's literally the most popular Data Life character there is.
I was worried I was gonna get because I already have 3 Date Alive figures, not counting this one. So I was actually worried I was gonna get a figure I already had. Because I have Yoshino, and I have Toka, and I have Kotori. Or Ifrit. Kotori in her Ifrit form. So I was kind of hoping for Origami or Natsumi, but ended up with Kurumi, so. But yeah, so reincarnated as an apple. Like I said, I don't want to know what they're going to come up with next.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there's either an anime or there was a novel about a guy that got reincarnated in another world, then got killed in that world and reincarnated into his original world.
In a weird way, it sounds like that could kind of work. And it would actually be kind of comical. But
Error 404 page doesn't exist. Bullshit. Well, on that note, at least spring 2023 is looking to be. Ooh, Lord, I see several sequels that I am. I see a lot of sequels in your future, Doug, for next season.
oh, I've already seen a ton.
I see two in particular. Three in particular, off the top of my head that I know you're absolutely going to be falling head over heels for.
Is that winter or spring?
This is spring.
So, okay, let me click over to spring on my anime list because I can already tell you that there are at least 4 sequels that I will be watching in spring.
I know three, but I don't know the fourth one.
So, what are the ones that you see?
Of course, we have The Ancient Vegas Bride,
Yep.
Kuma Bear,
Yep.
and Another World with My Smartphone,
Yep.
and I am not sure the other one.
Konosuba.
Oh, that's right.
That one. That's got another
That one
season coming
skipped
out.
right over my head, but I will be watching all of them except Kuma Bear unless I watch Kuma Bear before then. But Dr. Stone, Masamune Kun's Revenge are going to be my sequels. Oh, wow. Even the golf anime got a sequel.
Still waiting for a disc golf anime and a
Still waiting
bowling
on,
anime.
yeah, still waiting on bowling.
And I still say, Darren, you need to check. You need to watch Kuma Bear. I mean, as I drop stuff, how adorable is the characters? You know.
I agree. They're adorable.
I mean, you have that one, and then you have her friend.
Hmm.
And then you have her who has the little bear gloves that you can see that she's holding that shoots out two gigantic bears that they can ride on.
Of course. Just
And,
like,
and
just
yes, I
like,
had to buy those when I was at Anime because they had somebody who actually had officially licensed merchandise from Kuma Bear. I'm like, I've never seen this, so I am going to get it. They were
oh.
sold out of the black suit one. Seems like that happens everywhere. But I'm hearing the clock go off behind me. We were only planning on doing about an hour-long show. So, once again, thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight and listened to us ramble about a lot of random stuff tonight, anime related, some of it trash taste related. Um, Thank you, Darren, for joining me in our random ramblings.
The random shows are sometimes always the most fun.
Because anything will get brought up.
Yep.
And this is like the old days before Angela came on and just roll her eyes at us. One of these days we're gonna hit a button and she's gonna go off and we're gonna have like a trash taste moment on AZR.
I'd be down for that.
I think that would be fun.
We just need to start talking about something when it's just the two of us and just have someone send her a link like, you better stop these guys. And then just have her come in and just blow up on us.
That could be fun. But again, thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. Reminder, Sunday night we are going to be having our year in review, a look back at 2022. So Darren, go back through your thought tanks, remember the shows that we have done this year, and try to pick out some of your favorite moments from AZR 2022.
It's going to be a lot of work. I have enough work on my plate.
I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to be looking back. It'll be a lot of fun. Had Not only do I have all the shows to look back through, I've got 13 conventions to look back on as well, because that's all AZR related stuff.
And now, is that your record for the most conventions attended in a year, or?
No, that's not my record for most conventions attended in a year. I think my record currently stands at 16. But when I lived in Massachusetts, it was a lot easier to attend the conventions because there are a lot more smaller cons in a shorter drive than now, where I'd probably, if I had to estimate, I would say the average drive time of the 13 conventions we went to was probably at least 2.5 hours, maybe more. Because I had multiple cons that were 5 or more hour drives. Rail City was an hour, and that's without taking the ferry across the lake. That's driving up to almost the Canadian border and crossing the lake using the bridge to get over there. Pennsylvania was a 5-hour drive. New Jersey was a 5-hour drive. Anime Boston was about a 5-hour drive. Connecticut was a 4-hour drive. Watertown, New York was a 4-hour drive. Syracuse was a 4.5-hour drive. So you're probably looking closer to 3 hours at least. Maybe closer to 4. I don't know. I did a lot of driving this year. But until Sunday night, we're looking forward to seeing you again here on Anime-Zing Radio, right here on YouTube. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Good night. Sleep.